A couple months ago, I made a video about Ravi and the allegations made against him. At the time, I acted under the assumption that these allegations were true. In my mind, I didn't know why somebody would lie about saying something like that, but I acknowledge that he has an incredible legacy, and not everyone likes that. Not everyone wants to see the kingdom of God flourish and thrive and whatever else. But since that time, there has been a statement released by Ravi Zacharias' organization saying that it is likely that these allegations are true. And there will be a final report that will be shared in January. And I want to preface this by saying that none of us wanted these allegations to be true. None of us want to see a great man of God, somebody who we look up to and admire, and see what feels like his legacy being tarnished. But with the same token, none of us also want to enable people who abuse others with their power. And that's what happened in this situation. Does that then mean that every message he gave we can't learn from? That every word he said was wrong? I think that's up to us as individuals to interpret, and it is so disappointing to see someone who you look up to as an example and know that they failed so many people. And I am in no ways justifying his behavior, and I know some people who still don't believe this is true, who think that because the identities of those women are going to be held private, that this was still not true. And you're entitled to believe what you want to believe. But when there are two options here, either he is being accused and he didn't do it, and maybe his reputation takes a little bit of a hit, but there will be people who still believe him anyway. Or he did this and there are women who were abused and he was able to use that power against them, and they are suffering silently and not able to have the justice that they deserve. So when you look at the wager of those two options, it is so important to not be afraid to acknowledge the sin of Christian men and women and how they have failed. And I know that for me personally, and even for my friends as we process it, it's so disappointing to see people fail and to feel that disappointment of what you expected from someone, especially people who are examples in their walk with God. But I can't guarantee the integrity of anyone else. I only know my own integrity. I only know my own sense of worth, my own sense of doing right and wrong. That's all I can guarantee. And yeah, I mean, with the same token, I do want to say that I think there are Christian leaders like Joyce Meyer or Francis Chan. There are people out there who are still, I believe, as far as I can tell or I know. Again, there's more that we never know the full picture. We only know ourselves. But there is so much more that we may not see on the surface. And yeah, I mean, but what I'm trying to say is there are still examples everywhere we go. And if you don't feel like they're examples, then I guess my challenge for all of us is to be that example with your life and what you choose to do. And yeah, I mean, it goes back to saying that, you know, we should never elevate someone to a position of power where they can't be chastised, where they can't be corrected, or where they have so much power that the fact that people reacted so strongly to these accusations and just assumed that a lot of them were lies speaks to how much power you can have if you're a man of God, and people just assume that there's no way you could do that. And that's an issue. No one is beyond fault. No one is beyond reproach. And I've had people comment examples from the Bible. Look at Moses, look at Abraham, look at, you know, there's ways that great men of God have failed, you know. David was an adulterer, he was a murderer, you know, and we see in the Bible that God still used imperfect people. And I'm not saying that to try to diminish the harm that Ravi Zacharias caused in the lives of many women, but that's to acknowledge the fact that he could have still ministered and given amazing sermons and still did this horrible wrong. I just wanted to make a video to kind of create a space to voice this and how I kind of deal and wrestle with learning someone I really look up to, or someone who I had high hopes for, as I imagine many people do, how to really come to terms with that and move forward, because it is extremely disappointing and none of us wanted this to be true. But with the same token, we can't victim blame. We can't make women who have been hurt or assaulted feel like they could have or should have done something different, when the fault should be in the person who did the hurt. So those are really my thoughts on that. Again, I didn't want to make this video. I didn't want the allegations to be true. But if you want to share your thoughts in the comments or how you deal with this, then the comments will be open, and I'll see you guys later on.